keep it 1,000, keep it 1,000, keep it a stack, keep it a stack. We kill 1,000, kill 1,000. It's deeper than rap, it's deeper than rap. It's the Keep It 1,000 podcast. It do not stop. It's the Keep It 1,000 podcast. It do not stop with me.
This is the Keep It 1,000 podcast. We're gonna keep it all over a stack. And I'm your host, KOCH. And as you can see, it do not stop. It do not stop with me. And I got a special guest in the building, man. Really don't need an introduction. Louisiana legend. One of the top lyricists, ever did it. I'm talking about Max Minelli in the building, man. What up?
What up, my brother? 100, man. I appreciate all the adulation, man.
Hey, bro, I'm just keeping it trill. You heard me?
That's a bit. That's a bit.
We're going to get right into it, though, man.
Yes, sir.
So, I heard you say Irwinville a couple of times, but I did my own little research. It say you was born in New Orleans, but you was raised in Southern California. Speak on that a little bit.
This is how I went. I was born in New Orleans. I lived in New Orleans till I was 10 years old, or 9 or 10. I was in 3rd grade. So whatever age you be when you're in 3rd grade, like 8, 9, or 10, something like that.
Right.
And then my pops, he had took off and moved to California because he was like, he was fucking up bad, you know what I'm saying? And so I guess he was just trying to change his life, get away from all the shit that, you know what I'm saying, he was into over here. So he just bust out.
Right.
And he shot the Cali. And, once he got on his feet and shit, I had went out there to visit him one Christmas vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, once I got out there, I was like, fuck it, I don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I ended up staying. And I stayed out there for 3 years. And then I moved back to Louisiana. And when I moved back to Louisiana that's when I moved to Irwinville.
So, okay.
Which was where that was where my mama people, like my grandmother and all my mama people was from. You know what I'm saying? So Irwinville, people don't know, that's like a little town, across the river from Baton Rouge, like about 15 minutes away, but it's like a little country town. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We're gonna backtrack to Cali though. How was it
growing
up in Cali though? You know what I'm saying?
Man,
was you surrounded by like the Bloods or the Crips or some shit like
right.
that? The colors?
It was real dope growing up out there, bro. For the time I was there. But yeah, the neighborhood I lived in was a Crip neighborhood. It was called Harbor City Crip Gang. And they also had like a Mexican, gang too, you know what I'm saying? Out there, the Mexicans, they got their own shit. They ain't Crips or Bloods, they shit, you know what I'm saying? The essays, you know what I'm saying? Right. So they had them, and like I said, it was a Crip neighborhood, and like a lot of, the dudes I was growing up with, who was my partners, we was young, we was little kids, but they older brothers and shit was Crips, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you kind of like, when you growing up and like, your older brothers or, your partner older brothers, the people who you see, whatever they doing, you kind of tend to start wanting to do that, you know what I'm saying? So, I used to wear blue and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But
come on.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, but we was kids. It wasn't like we was gang banging. But it was like I say, you see this what they do, or we want to do that too. You know what I'm saying?
You adapting to the habitat.
Right. So it was like one of them things. But see, my mama, and my pops, like they kind of saw this shit. So they was like, nah, we gotta get you, me and my sister. My sister a little older than me, so my sister was actually into some shit, you know what I'm saying, that I wasn't into yet. But she 4 years older than me, so she was like, in high school. And so, like I say, she was running with the people who, like I said, was my partner's older brothers and sisters and shit like that. So like I said, my mama and my pops, they saw this shit going, where the shit was going. And they was like, nah, they snatched our ass up and sent us back to Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how that went, bro. But to answer your question, I know I went off on a tangent, but
Oh, it's all
It
good,
was
man.
dope growing up in California, bro. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think that's where I started rapping when I was out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of my next question. Like, when did you
Right.
start rapping, and where did the name Max Minelli come from?
All right. I started rapping when I was living in Cali. My mama had she had this job where she was like the manager of like it was a movie company. She was like the manager of like the human resource department or some shit like that.
Mm.
So during the summer, she'll take me to work with her, like on summer vacation, you know, so I wanted to be sitting in the house being bored and shit. So she started taking me to work with her. They had this white dude that worked with her he had a studio and he, you know, did music and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to hanging with him, like they're going like little deliveries and shit like that. So he'll ask me if I wanted to ride with him sometimes. So I jump in the car with him and he was listening to, all the new rap shit, NWA and all that. But this was right when Ice Cube first solo album came out, America's Most Wanted.
Now, this is in Louisiana or Cali?
No, this in Cali. I'm in
This in
Cali
Cali,
still.
okay.
Yeah. So this when Ice Cube dropped that first album, when I was, going on little deliveries with the white dude I'm talking about who worked with my mom, he was bumping that Ice Cube. Like that's all we used to listen to.
Right.
And like that shit fucked my head up. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the dopest shit I ever heard. So from me listening to that, and I knew he had a studio and shit, I was like, man, look, I'm gonna write me a rap. And if I can, I want to come to your spot and record it. And he was like, cool. So I went home that day, you know what I'm saying? And I started writing me a rap. And it's like I ain't never think about this shit before then. Like, didn't nobody tell me how it should go, how to count a ball, how to do none of that. It's like I just knew it. You know what I'm saying? I just
Went
did
in.
it. Yeah, so it's like I knew like a verse should be this long and then it should stop. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's like I knew how to structure a song, just from listening to songs all my life. You know what I'm saying?
Gifted.
So, I mean, you might could say that. But so yeah, so anyway, I ended up going. My mom took me to dude's spot and I recorded a song. He had made a beat for me and everything. You know what I'm saying? He made a beat from scratch. So I made my first song, and then like a little while later, I made another song. So I ended up doing 2 songs when I was out there. You know what I'm saying? So it was the first 2 songs that I did. And I wish I had them bitches still. I used to have them on a little tape.
Right.
But man, that shit long gone somewhere now.
I already know.
Yup. But that's how it all really started and shit. You know what I'm saying?
So what made you choose Max Minelli?
Okay, so Max Minelli, that didn't come till way later. Like I had a whole bunch of other names, before I was Max Minelli. Like, really when I was in high school, like my pops, he had like a uncle. So it would be like my great uncle or whatever. And he was like he was a pimp in Galveston, Texas. So
Okay.
my mama used to say I reminded her of him, and they used to call him Max Minelli. I don't know why.
Come
But
on.
yeah, so when I got to high school, like I started calling myself Max. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, like when the camp formed, Bleed had like Bleed Corleone, and Boo had Boo Rossini. So it's like everybody had kind of like a last name, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, well shit, I'm gonna be Max Minelli. So
Right.
that's where that came, and ever since then, I just been Max Minelli.
Yeah, it do
And
fit
it's
perfect.
crazy because a lot of people say they like that name, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it really came about.
That's how that go, man. So your first album, Me and My Hustle, classic.
Yes, sir.
That was under CeeLo Records.
Appreciate you.
Man, how you met CeeLo?
Yes, sir. Okay, I met Lo. Okay, it's kind of like a long story. I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning for you. I met Bleed first. You know what I'm saying? So I met Bleed when I was okay, I had two older cousins that went to high school with Bleed. They grew up with Bleed in the same neighborhood called Mayfair.
Right.
So one day, this is after I moved back to Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? One day we was just in the house chilling and watching videos, and Crisscross came on. I know you remember Crisscross. They was
Jump.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah. So we was watching the video, and I was like, I just made a comment to them. I was like, man, them niggas can't see me like I rap better than them niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, what you mean you rap? You rap? Let me hear something. So I started rapping for them. You know what I'm saying? They was like, damn. You know, so fast forward, they was like, man, look, we got a partner named Tank. They used to call him Tank back then. Say, man, he rap and he be recording and all this shit, man. We gonna plug you up with him. So they ended up putting me on the phone with Tank, who is Bleed. You know what I'm saying? But he used to be called Tank.
Okay.
So they ended up putting me on the phone with him. And so once me and Bleed start talking, like I used to like every day I would come home, like I write raps in school, and I'd come home and I'd call Bleed, be like, man, check this bitch out, and just rap raps over the phone for him. So I had actually was talking to him on the phone for like maybe about 2 or 3 years before I actually met him. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So one day, yeah, cause like I said, I was, at this time I was in the country town. So you know what I'm saying? I was kind of like far away from everything.
Yeah.
So one day, I was across the river. I was in BR at my cousin's house, and they brought Bleed over there to actually meet me. You know what I'm saying? And me and my little cousin was outside playing basketball, and like about 5 cars pulled up with a bunch of niggas in all of them, and I'm just looking like, man, what the fuck going on out here?
I'm telling you.
And them niggas just jumped out and was like, man, this Tank, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay. So that's how we linked up. And then from there, time progressing, we got a little older, we started doing more shit together. And then that's when like Happy and Baton and everybody come into the picture. And so at the same time, Bleed grew up with Lo. You know what I'm saying? They grew up in the same neighborhood in South Baton Rouge. And Bleed, Lo used to be Bleed DJ back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
So Lo was a DJ.
He was a DJ at first, and he was Bleed DJ. And so eventually, Lo started his own label, and he put out a first album called Southside thing. I think he had like about 4 or 5 songs on it. It was like a little EP. But then when he went back to work on this like real, album, Who's Gonna Ride, that's when he got back with Bleed, and he brought Bleed into the picture, to kind of do some shit with him on there. So when Who's Gonna Ride came out, that shit just blew up. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was the hottest shit in Baton Rouge at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so that was kind of like when, Lo, he came out, he made some noise, he established himself in his label, and then he was like, man, he wanted to build his label up. So Bleed was like, man, I got these young niggas I fuck with, you need to, check them out. So Bleed actually brought us to Lo, you know what I'm saying? And that's how all this shit formed, like that.
I'm telling y'all, formed Voltron right quick.
Like straight Voltron.
Y'all got a strong ass squad, bro. I ain't lying.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. Yeah, bro. We we was like, we just wanted to be the best, bro. And like you gotta think, like at this time, it ain't no lot of rappers. Well, it really ain't nothing but a couple of rappers from where we at. You know what I'm saying? They had MC Nero before us. Silky Slim and the Bottom Posse.
Yep.
But Lo kind of took this shit to another level. You know what I'm saying? When he came, like, he brought it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? To revert back to what you were saying about how we had a lot of beasts in our squad, like we weren't looking at like niggas that's next to us to compare ourselves to. All we had was like niggas on TV. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know, I like whenever I did my shit, I wanted to be on the level of Nas. I wanted to be on the level of Ice Cube. I wanted to be on the level of these niggas. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't no, you know, you had to come with, it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
then you gotta think it's me and 4, 5 other niggas that's thinking that same way. So
Right.
when we, you know, when this nigga come, he put his verse on some shit. He like, damn, man, I gotta, you know, I gotta come with it. So it's like we always, you know, sharpening each other. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
What was the
Yeah.
session like with? You look to the right, you got Loc. You look to the left, you got Bleed. You look to the other side, you got Jvon. Then Boosie came. Man, you in
Yeah,
that bitch like, man.
Boosie came a little later, but
Right.
like when we first, I mean, that was our life, bro. Like we lived in like Loc had built the studio like outside his house, like he had a garage outside, like a it's a little bigger than a garage, but
Right.
he built the studio in that motherfucker. So we just used to live there basically, bro. Like we used to be at Loc house every day, and it was like a big part of every day. Like, you know, a lot of niggas from the neighborhood be there just, you know, throughout the day. Just, you know, it was just hood shit. It was like a click house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, you know, it was like we be there and like, man, you know, sometimes, you know, 2 or 3 of us would be in there. We start a song, and then somebody else come in they head and they jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Loc got something going on, or Bleed got something, and they pull it up, and me and Bond jump on it, and you know, just like that. So, you know, it wasn't really like I could say, you know, the session used to be like this. It was more so just life. It was like that's how we was
Right.
living. You know
It
what
was
I'm saying?
natural,
So
just
yeah, it was like every day was just that. You know what I'm saying?
most definitely,
But
man.
I mean, it was fun, bro. It was fun. You know, it was fun. It was just hood shit. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of niggas, you know, hood niggas. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that we was raised under that. So like, you know, all the morals and values and ethics and all that shit, that's what we, you know, learned, you know what I'm saying? And
As y'all
grew up.
was doing it, yeah.
Right. And so we, you know, we grew up under that. So yeah, it was fun, bro. It was like some of the, you know, best times you could have, especially for a young dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
a young nigga. We 14, 15 years old, you know what I'm saying? They got broads coming in and out, and you know what I'm
Man,
saying? It's just, you know, it's just all type of shit going down, bro. But you know, it was fun, you know what I'm saying?
man, I could definitely imagine, man. I ain't lying.
Yes,
Rockstar
sir.
life, really shit.
Right.
Man,
Hood rock star like.
hood rockstar life for real. So Laylo was you and Jvon. Who decided to you know, make y'all like a group?
Me and Bond was a group before anything.
Okay.
Cause me and Bond went to, like, so when I moved back from Cali and I was living in Irvingville, when I went to school, middle school, Bond went to this middle school that I went to. So it's like me and him just got tight. You know, that was my dog. You know, we was like, I get off the bus at his house every day, and you know what I'm saying? So one day I remember we was at his house, and I remember like before, when I, you know, when I used to be trying to record, like one of my cousins, Gary, he showed me, like, he was like, man, look. So we used to take like a Lear radio that you could record, like you could just press record like on the tape and just talk,
I'm
and,
with you.
it'll record you.
I'm
So
with you.
we'll take the Lear radio, put it next to a big radio, and put the beat on the big radio, play it, and then record the Lear radio, and we'll rap over the beat. And that's how we used to record shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So yeah,
hood engineer. Hood engineer shit, I'm telling you.
it was straight hood, bro. You know,
Right.
but it was all we had, so we had to, you know what I'm saying? So so when I used to get off the bus at Bond house every day in the evening, and we'll just be in his house watching Rap City, and you know what I'm saying. So that's when one day I was like, man, look, because he had a little radio, and his mama had a big ass fucking stereo system in their house with big ass speakers and shit, right? So I was like, man, look, we just gonna freestyle on this bitch. So I remember the first date, like, cause Vaughn ain't, you know, he never had rapped or nothing, but we was in that bitch and recording, and I did a little verse, and then he just came right after me and just started running that bitch, like just freestyling. You know what I'm saying?
Caught the vibe, yeah.
He just caught the vibe, bro, and ever since then it was up. You know what I'm saying? So once he started rapping too, it was like shit. We was a group from out the gate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't come up with the name Lay Low till a little later, but we was Lay Low before we met Low. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people ain't know that. I know.
Yeah.
So I think this coming off your first project, Me and My Hustle, Do Your Thug Thing.
Do Your Thug Thing.
How did that song come about? I know before that, Happy Perez, that's the beat.
Yeah.
How did he join in the camp? Like, or was he already there?
All right. Me and Vaughn, when we went to high school, we was in 10th grade. So it was our second year of high school. And Happy ended up coming to our school, like kind of like, you know, in the middle of the year. So his parents had moved from Houston, from Texas, to Louisiana because his pops had got like a job down here. And his stepmama had like her people was from Baton Rouge. So they ended up coming to Baton Rouge. His pops got a job, and he just so happened to come to our school. So, you know, he was Mexican, and like back then, you know, in Louisiana, they didn't have a lot of Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, you know, from me being in California that time, you know, I fucked with a lot of Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, you know, some people was like, man, that's a white dude. That's a white dude. And I was like, nah, man, that dude not white, he mixed. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he was sitting at the table one day by himself, you know, lunchtime, cafeteria. And me and Vaughn just came in the cafeteria, and I was like, man, let's go fuck with the old boy. Let's just go holler at him. So we just went sat down.
Not even on no music shit or nothing. Y'all ain't know he made music or nothing. Just let's just go holler at him. Yeah.
I'm about to tell you. So look, so we just go sit down by him like, man, what's happening, bro? You know, we talking this shit. And me and Vaughn was like, bro, our life was rapping, my nigga. Like, that's all we did. You heard me? So we sitting at the table with him, and then, you know, we holler for a second, then eventually me and Vaughn just start beating on the table and rap. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do. So Hap was like, he was like, man, I got a little keyboard at my house, and I you know, I be kind of like making beats on. He was real shy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like, man, I kind of be making beats on him and shit. Man, y'all should come check him out. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, damn, fucking right. So one of my older cousins, Mike, he had a car. So he was the one who we like every time we went somewhere in his car. That's how we used to get around. So after school that day, we was like, Mike, let's go by old boy Happy. So we went to his spot after school, and man, he had a little fucking keyboard that was this big. I swear to God, it was a Casio, like some shit you buy from Radio Shack or something, like.
Right.
And so, bro, when I tell you that nigga was making raw ass beats on that shit,
working that beat,
like it fucked us up. You know what I'm saying? We was like, damn, because you know you gotta remember, like, all we ever did was rapped on like other people instrumental. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't really know about how to make beats and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never think about that or that. Right. So by him, you know, he was the first person that we saw that actually made beats. You know what I'm saying? And but it was just God, bro. Like, God put all this together, because it ain't no way in the world that this dude from way over here, his family just ended up coming there, and he just ended up, You know what I'm saying?
That's
Coming
how
out
I'm
of
listening,
school,
like how all the dots
yeah,
connected, man. Had to be gold.
it had to be, bro.
Man.
Like it was meant, you know what I'm saying? And you know what made me just be like, man, let's go holler at dude, you know, just go fuck with him. Like he was sitting there by himself chilling, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, it's just, but that's how that shit came together, bro.
And y'all probably pushed him to his full potential. You
Yeah,
know.
because you know, like I say, he had just moved down here. He ain't know nobody. He ain't know nothing. So all he used to do was just be his parents had a little trailer. So
Right.
he was staying in the trailer and he used to be there by himself all the time. So all he had was just making beats. He said, man, he used to watch videos and shit and you know, listen to whatever new shit came out and just make beats. You know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
by him, you know, meeting us and realizing that, you know, damn, they rap, shit, we, you know,
We're a
it's
team.
up. Now we finna, we finna do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's
So
how it went.
when he slid you that thug thing beat,
Okay,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
all right, so
That bitch come
I
on like dun dun. You like, what he about to do with that bitch?
hey,
You know what I'm saying? Shit.
I'm gonna tell you the story about how that came about. Now this is way later. Like we kind of jumping around time,
Right.
but so so I had started working on my first album. Locals locked up at the time. He got locked up like in the middle of us doing Boosie albums. So I had to, you know, take Boosie to finish his album. And then once that was, you know, done and came out, then I started working on my album. So anyway, one day we was at Hap House. Like that's where we used to stay in Houston. And it's like the studio in the house. So it's like kind of like the same situation I was telling you about Loc House. Like we live in the studio, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So all we used to do is just record all day, make music all day, you know what I'm saying? So it was like late at night, bro. It might have been like 2, 3 in the morning. And he was just sitting at the, you know, at the keyboard, the MPC, just fucking around with something. And me and my other partner, Russell Lee, who sang on a lot of my shit, he
Okay.
sang on my first album. Like he sang on really most of all of my albums.
Right.
Me and him was like, man, we gonna go to the store and grab some shit, you know, and we'll be right back. So me and him left, went to the store, and we might have been gone about 20 minutes at the most. But when we walked back in from the store, Cap was like, man, listen to this bitch. And we played that bitch. And we was like, man, what the fuck is
Fuck.
that? So
I
that
already
nigga
know.
he made that beat from the time we left. Like when we left, he didn't have nothing.
20 minutes.
When we came back, that nigga had that. So that idea, do your thug thing, is like I had an idea. I've been having that idea. Like sometimes I have ideas and I just store them bitches away and be like, man, you know, that's a good idea. Whenever I come across something that I can fit it to, I work on it. So I had that idea. So when I heard that beat, I was like, man, I got something for that. So I started writing it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, we just once I finished writing that bitch, we recorded. And I had this girl I used to be fucking with back in the day. I had got her to kind of like do the do your thug
Another
thing
thing,
too.
yeah. The chant.
So
Yeah.
we did like a lot of them to kind of make it sound big, you know. And I wanted to have like a girl voice in there too, because I wanted to be relatable to, you know, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And bro, that shit just is like one of them things we're talking about, just magic, bro. It came together like, you know, and that like that song, bro, was like instant. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like every time I let somebody, like before it came out, even my partners and shit, I be like, man, listen to this bitch. It's like they knew that bitch was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was instant, bro.
Yeah.
And I tell you a funny story about this, the radio. Like they used to have this dude named Al J. Wallace. He was the program director of the radio station. And he used to be like, you know, he didn't give a fuck about local niggas, really. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to show niggas in the city no love on the radio.
Right.
But so I remember I had went up there one day and tried to have a meeting with him. to get, you know, get Thug thing on the radio, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he'll holler at me kind of, but I can tell he really ain't give a fuck. He brushed me off. So I was like, all right, cool, fuck it. So the bitch was bubbling in the streets so hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, it might have been like a week later, a couple of days later, like all my partners from the radio station, like DJ Marquise and I remember Juice Man, he was up there, and Jay Tweezy, they was calling me like, hey, man, that song you got, bring it up here, bring it up here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna come pull up. So I bought it. And that night, that bitch was on the countdown. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, you know, it was bubbling so hard, like he had to put it on the radio. You know what I'm saying? He had to fuck with it.
Right. That bitch was well put together, bro.
Man, appreciate it, bro.
I ain't lying. My favorite line, nigga say, I left my hoes at home watching Jenny Jones. You know what I'm saying? Nigga used to watch that Jenny Jones, dog. I'm telling you. Real talk,
these young niggas don't know about that kind of shit.
They don't know about Jenny Jones, man.
Right, but yeah, that was, you know, it was kind of like, it had a lot of little, you know, clever, kind of funny shit in it, but you know, it was all real. You know what I'm saying? It was like, everything I was saying on that bitch was like real, like and shit that we saw, shit that was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you see me at court, like, man, you know, you don't say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, just little shit like that. Like, man, your business. You know, I kick more bitches out than Destiny Child.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, that bit, like I say, well put together.
Won't ever give up clothing brand. WEGU, one of the hottest trends in fashion. Wear your motivation in style. And yes, we also have styles for the kids.
This your boy KO1000, creator of Won't Ever Give Up clothing brand. WEGU.
We go.
You know, in life sometimes it get hard to stay motivated.
Definitely.
Why not wear your motivation in style?
Get at me for the sauce. Don't forget to follow on Instagram at w.e.g.u.
So Mystikal jumped on a remix. So how did that happen, and what was the situation like with Big Truck Records? Was he trying to sign you or?
Yeah, man, like, okay, one of our partners that was in our camp, he wasn't a rapper, but he, you know, we had niggas that wasn't rappers in our camp too. You know what I'm saying? The camp, concentration camp.
Right.
My partner Deldrick, he's a barber. You probably heard Boosie talking about him, the Boosie fade that Deldrick made. Yeah. So he the one who like gave Boosie the Boosie fade. You know what I'm saying? He used to cut Mystikal hair back in the day. Like, he used to line him up. He had braids back then, but he used to line him up. So we always see Mystikal at the barbershop. And Mystikal really was fucking with me and Vaughn hard, like Laylo, our group. He was like, man, these niggas hard as a motherfucker. And he was always like, man, if I ever, you know, get a situation or something, I'ma fuck with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So once he left No Limit, and you know, he came out like with that shake your ass and all that, like that nigga blew. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? It's like he was big already, but when that shit came out, that nigga went to a whole nother level. You know, he was like one of the top. Yeah, he was one of the top 3-4 rappers in the game at that time. You know what I'm saying? Him, Nelly, Luda, you know, it was a few niggas that was just on that level. So so he started Big Truck Records, and like he always said, man, whenever I got a situation, I'm gonna come fuck with y'all. So the Vaughn was locked up at this time, though. Vaughn was like, he had a couple of little jokes he did that, you know, so at that time he was locked up. So Mystikal came, and this, you know, I had already started doing my solo shit. Like, my first album was out already, and Thug Thing had, you know, that bitch was already, you know, up there. That bitch was a hit, and you know, I was just making noise already. So he ended up signing me, you know, to Big Truck. You know what I'm saying? And Loc was locked up. You know, it was like one of them situations where, you know, once Loc got locked up, he was like, man, me and Boosie, he told us like, whatever y'all need to do, y'all go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew he was in that situation, and it was like, you know. So yeah, so I signed with Mystikal, the big truck, and then we did the remix, because that was gonna be like the first, you know, first single we was gonna put out.
Right.
But you know, shit with Big Truck Records kind of ended up not really happening, you know what I'm saying? Like it was supposed to. And then, you know, he had a lot of shit going on, and then of course, you know, the situation, you know, sent him away for I think he might have did what 6 or 7 years or something. So
Right.
So what, you know, once all that shit kind of happened, I still had the song, and I still had that album that I was working on. It was like I got an album called Max Pain, which is my second album after Me and My Hustle, and then I got an album called I'm All I Got, which is my third album. Both of them albums I was kind of working on. That was gonna be my Big Truck album. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But when that situation, you know, ain't work out, I still took the album and put that bitch out. You know what I'm saying? On my own shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had the Thug Thing remix with Mystikal, and I was able to put it out, you know, on my shit anyway.
And he was locked up at the time.
He was locked up.
Damn.
Wait, was he locked up? Nah, I think he was not. He was still out.
Okay.
He might. I can't remember, bro. I think he might have still been out, but he was going through the little situation at the time, and then he got locked up.
Right.
If I ain't mistaken, bro, I can't remember.
Y'all still keep in contact, or?
And I see him every now and again. I bump into him. I don't really, you know, talk to him on a regular basis like that. But yeah, it's love, man. You know, I love Mystikal. Like, man, Mystikal is one of my favorite rappers even before I knew him. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was on Big Boy, you know, like we was bumping Mystikal, like, you know, for every day. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was hard. He still is hard.
Yep.
You know
To
what
me,
saying?
that's what I'm saying. He's still raw to me.
Yeah, but
so you dropped several. Go ahead.
I fuck with Mystikal. My bad. I fuck with Mystikal, bro. I saw he had shot him out. He was on Blad not too long ago.
I saw that.
And he had shot him out on there. So, you know, it's all love, bro.
That was 1,000.
Salute Mystikal. Yes, sir.
That was 1,000. Now you mentioned Max Payne in 2002, and that boy you dropped in 2004 with Do Something.
That boy, yep, 2004.
That was under
my album came out 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like.
I'm gonna get to that because, man, you Mr. Consistent. I ain't gonna lie. Some of the stuff I ain't even know was out. Like, man, Max Payne 2, Heart of a King, Pre-Med, Number 1 Supply, Dope Boy Chad 1.2. Man, god damn.
Right. Yeah, and then I got like 3 or 4 after that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You really is Mr. Consistent on that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Real talk. So that was under Crushed Entertainment though. What was that? Was like a KOCH or something?
Now, Crushed Entertainment was like, okay, when me, me, Vaughn, and Happy branched off from the camp, and we put out Simple and Plain, the album. That was in 1999.
Okay.
But we started our own label. Me, Happy, called Crushed Entertainment.
Okay.
And that's what we put the album Simple and Plain out under Crushed Entertainment.
Okay, so that was y'all's.
Yeah. So it was kind of like me just showing love to, you know, that by me putting Crushed Entertainment on that board. And there's a couple other ones I put Crushed Entertainment on. So it's kind of just like, it's our label, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just kind of put Crushed Entertainment on it to, you know, just for people who know about that to be like, oh man, this bitch on Crushed Entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So 2005, you dropped Get Served.
Get Served, yep.
You had some collabs with Paul Wall, Mia X. How you linked up with Paul Wall for Find Me a Freak and Mia X for Pop That Thing?
Man, Paul Wall, he was kind of like a fan of mine too. when they started, him and Camille came to Baton Rouge one time, and I remember they was on the radio, and I think they asked him something like, man, who, y'all fuck with any artists from this area? And they was like, man, the boy Max Minelli hard, you know what I'm saying? And I had never met him or nothing. So they was showing me love. So I can't remember how I actually met Power Wow. I'm trying to see. I think it was kind of like, it might have been through, no, I know how. One of my partners, Romario, he was kind of like managing me at the time. He worked for Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Warner Brothers Records. He was like the radio rep, so he would work their radio songs to Warner Brothers. But at the same time, he was managing me, so he would take me with him, like whenever he was doing Warner Brothers shit, and like introduce me to all the people. Like, man, this is my artist I'm fucking with too. You know what I'm saying?
That's big.
And so Power Wild was on Warner Brothers. I think they was on Atlantic, but it's all all that shit the same. Warner Brothers, Atlantic.
Right. It's under the same umbrella.
Right. So Romario was the radio rep, and he would be with Power Wild too. And I think that's how I got connected with Power. So,
okay.
When I did that song, it was like, man, he knocked it right out for me. But the thing about that is the original one is the one that's on the album, but we did the remix later. And the remix, the one that really blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Did y'all get a chance to collab in the studio, or he just sent the verse to you?
I was there when he did it. I was there when he did it, because he had it was like a little building that had like a lot of different offices in it. And Happy had a studio at this building, and Power Wild and his people, they had a studio in that same building. Right. So it's like just walk to their shit and did it. But since then, me and Paul have done a lot of shit together. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. Like, Paul's a good dude, bro. He one of the most solidest dudes that I done met, in this music shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out Paul Wall, man. Shit.
Shout out Paul Wall.
It is what it is.
Yes,
so for the song with Mia X, how did that come about?
The same dude, Romario, who I was talking about, who's managing me. Yeah, he knew Mia X's sister some kind of way. And Mia X is living in Dallas. That's where he's from. That's where he lived, in Dallas. Right. So, I was just like, man, it'd be fucking dope if I get Mia X on something, because she hadn't been doing nothing for a while at that time. She kind of was, she had fell back from the music shit. Right. So I was like, man, it'd be dope if I get on something. And he called her and she was like, man, send it. She knocked it out. And she knocked it right out. So we put it together, you know what I'm saying?
That's love, man. I ain't lying.
Yeah, shout out Mia X. She a legend, man.
Shout out Mia X, for real. She retarded on that mic. I ain't lying. Yeah. For real. So with that being said, like Warner Brothers, any other major labels like try to sign you or anything like that? Any situations came your way? I'm sure. I've been to all them labels, bro. Def Jam, I did like a showcase at Def Jam. Them bitches ain't signed me. J Records, I got all the way to Clive. Like, I met Clive Davis. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know about Clive Davis, but he's like one of the top execs. Music shit. Yeah. He responsible for Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, just shit. Countless, Alicia Keys, like all them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? There's this dude, his name Larry Jackson. He's actually like, now he's like the dude over Apple Music. Like, if you see like a lot of the shit that be going on with Apple Music, like with Dr. Dre or whoever, Larry Jackson always be there with him. He brought me to J Records and tried to get me signed there. Damn. It was like a situation where I think they had like a dude in there who kind of was hating on me. I don't know why. Right. But he threw salt in the mix. And like they was actually pissed off that that they ain't signed me, but other than that, bro, like I said, I done been to all them labels, bro. And it's like
it always be like, man, this gonna happen, and then shit end up not happening. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
by the time the shit with KOCH came around, like I really was like, I'm gonna tell you how this shit went. My partner Jay Tweezy from the radio station, he, you know, by him, he had became the PD after a certain amount of time. So he
Right.
was the big dog on the radio at this time. And he was telling me about KOCH. He was like, man, KOCH, they doing big shit right now, bro. It was like when KOCH first started like coming with the new shit because at first KOCH was just like a label that if you was an artist from years ago, you know that you know you live peaked and ran out, but they still put out music. You go sign with KOCH. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's kind of known as like, you know, the label for old people who ain't really on no more.
They'll get you a
But
bag.
right, but they eventually at some point got into new shit and started trying to change the perception of their label, and they was. They had Jim Jones, that balling like
Right.
Yin Yang Twins, Khaled. When Khaled first started out, he was on
He was
KOCH.
with
Like
Koch.
all
Damn.
his first shit, all that shit, I'm so hood and all that
Was
whole
Koch.
shit was all on KOCH.
Damn.
And they had a couple other artists. BG was on KOCH
BG,
after he
yep.
left. Yup, he was on there. And they had like a couple dudes from Atlanta, DJ Unk and all of them. But they had big songs like KOCH. Like it was a time where KOCH had like number 1, 2, and 3 songs on the chart. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So Tweezy was telling me like, man, KOCH, man, they doing big shit. Woo, woo, woo. Man, just send them some shit. I already told them about you. Just send them some shit. So I was like, all right, I seen it. And I had put a little package together to send them. And I just set that shit on my table at my house. Cause I was just like, it was like I had been through so many situations that didn't happen.
Mm.
I was like, fuck man, you know, this shit gonna be just like everything else. I ain't even tripping on this shit like that.
Right.
So the little package sat on my table for like 2, 3 days, and Tweezy comments like, hey man, you send the package yet? You send the package yet? They wait. Say, man, I ain't seen it, but I'm gonna go send it today. So I overnighted the shit that day. And say, but the next day the motherfuckers called like, yo, we wanna fly you up here. We wanna sign you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I was tripping on that shit. Cause you know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
So yeah, so I went up there, you know, and then the song Find Me a Freak, like I had got that bitch on like in a lot of different cities. That bitch was bubbling up, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was like one of them situations, bro, where they, you know, I already had my shit moving and, you know, was doing this shit. And yeah, they ended up signing me, bro. Shout out to them though. I got love for them because they fuck with me, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I got a segment in my show, man, where I say it's time to keep it 1,000. And I'm doing free promo for anybody who doing any business. Just leave a brief comment, a description of what you got going on, and I'm gonna shout you out. It don't take but a second to keep it a stack.
Hey, it's free.
You know
You
what I'm
can't
saying?
beat that.
Today's shout out goes to Fashion Stop BR. Go get you a fresh fit. They got the hottest clothes and shoes in the South. New location, 8143 Florida Boulevard, Suite A. Y'all go follow at Fashion Stop BR. Shout out to Kevin, man.
Man, shout out to Kev, man. I fuck with Kev. He a good dude, bro. I
That's how
really
that
fuck
go.
with that dude.
That's how that
Shout
go.
out to Fashion Stop, man. For real.
Y'all go follow them, man. So 2007, man, on the Cut album, you got the controversial song, man. Is he a rat for that?
Right.
Man, you put it in perspective like I never really thought about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Speak on how did that come about?
Man, once again, I gotta shout out my partner Deldrick Pooler, the same Deldrick who I was talking about earlier, the barber. He called me one day and he was telling me that they must have had that conversation in the barbershop that day. You know what I'm saying? And they was you know, talking about like, man, well, this is you know, is you a rat for this, or is you if you do this, is you a rat, or if this person say this, is they a rat? So he called me and was like, man, you should do a song about this. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
he knew like I guess he figured I was the only nigga who really could put that together the right way. You know what I'm saying? So when he told me about that idea, I said, man, I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do it. And man, I went to in the had a beat and shit. I just did it. But the crazy thing about that On the Cut album is it's not really a real album. Like some of them albums ain't really real albums. They was kind of like just shit that I
put
just
together.
songs I had. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of different songs just floating around. And in between, you know, like when I was on KOCH, so I was waiting on the time to put out my album, which was gonna be Pain Medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, you know, you still want to keep, you don't want to be just sitting there too long without doing that. So I was putting out these little albums in between time just to be putting some shit out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah,
So
so
Owner
that's
is
how
the ref for that topic. Tekashi
mm,
6ix9ine, man.
mm, he's
Whack like
definitely a fucking rat.
whack 100 like he ain't no rat. He a
He definitely
civilian.
a rat.
He definitely a
I
rat.
mean, he,
His homeboy set him
I
up
don't
or whatever they
I,
did,
I,
fucked his
I,
girl.
I don't agree with that because at the end of the day, bro, he not a he probably Wack might see him as a civilian, but when you put yourself in that shit like that, like he was, you're not a civilian no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the fucking real definition of a rat. Like, man, if me and you, if I'm a part of a criminal organization and I know all kind of criminal shit going on and I'm telling niggas to go shoot niggas and doing this and
Right.
doing that, man, that's a rat,
Once
bro.
you make that
That's a
move
rat.
and that step in that situation, there's no turning
You're
back.
a
It's
rat.
you all in.
You definitely a rat.
You can't go against the rules after that. You all in.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
But I understand what he's trying to say
I understand
about
that too.
civilians, and that's kind of like what I speak about on that song. Like these people really civilians. They not, you know, in this shit like that. So, you know, it's just like if I give my neighbor, you know, a ride to the store, you know, he like, man, can you give me a ride to the store? Yeah, and he jump in my car with crack or with crack and a gun, and we get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to take that
He's
charge.
supposed to take his
Man,
lick.
he supposed to take that. That's him. That's his shit. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't
So it's
supposed to let
kind
you
of
go to
like,
jail.
right. And that's kind of like the point I was trying to make in the song, or the question I was trying to ask. You know what I'm saying? People that ask they self, you know, is he a rat for the shade? But yeah, that's a lot of people like fuck with that song. No, that's like one of my, you know, bro. Like I always try to have the real dopest concepts. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go all the way back to, you know, my first album, like I always try to have concepts like that's real deep, like Hustler High or 10% Tent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is he a rap for that? You know, just shit like that's real deep concept wise. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So 2009, you dropped Pain Medicine.
Right.
Swagger Walk.
That's why I feel like my masterpiece, Pain Medicine.
Definitely was, man. Classic too, man.
Appreciate
So
it,
what
bro.
was your mind state at that time? Like, as through the years, you staying consistent, you steady dropping.
Mm-hmm.
You like, I gotta keep giving it to them. How you stay
Yeah, well,
consistent like that to keep the motivation to keep doing it? Because a lot of people, after a certain amount of time, they just stop. They kind of fall back. Like I said, you Mr. Consistent. How you keep your motivation and
I
stay in the
mean,
yo?
well, at that time it was just like, man, I had a point that I was trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same point that I was trying to get to in, you know, 98, 90, 99, 2000, 2001. It's like I had my eyes on the prize, like, and I hadn't made it there yet.
Right.
So, you know, that's all the inspiration you need. That's all the motivation you need. And see, like with Pain Medicine, like if you look in Get Served album, I have Pain Medicine coming soon. Like that was gonna be you know, that was my album that I was pushing.
Mm-hmm.
But I had even said, like, man, I'm not dropping Pain Medicine until I get on a label. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So between 2005 and 2009, you know, a lot of different shit happened. I got the deal with KOCH, and I started working on Pain Medicine. Now, the Remedy, that album, that's the only album I dropped on KOCH. The
Right.
Remedy album was supposed to be Pain Medicine. So like, it's like another one of them situations, like I was telling you, where I got these songs, and you know, I ended up putting together an album of songs that wasn't really for that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
You had a certain body of work ready for Pain
yeah,
Medicine.
yeah,
You wanted
right,
to make
right,
sure that was a full body of work. I see what you're saying.
right. So the Remedy, like a lot of them songs that's on the Remedy was supposed to be songs for Pain Medicine. But when you know, the people at KOCH, like, I was like, man, look, I want to drop something, because you know they was all about, oh, you know, you need a big single, and they was trying to make me be like, you know, Boosie and them, or make me be like them dudes from Atlanta. And I was trying to explain to them, like, but I'm not that kind of artist. I'm a different kind of artist, you know. And that's why, like, even one of the dudes from there, like after Drake and J. Cole and them started blowing up,
Mm-hmm.
he hit me and was like, Max, bro, you was right. Like, I didn't see that.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
now I see what you was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when these niggas do it, now you see what I'm trying to do. You
You've
see what
been
I'm
on
saying?
it. You've been on it, bro. Like I
Exactly.
say,
I
one
was
of the top lyricists. I give it to you.
bro. So it was like, so to go back to what I was talking about, the Remedy, I kept telling them, man, I need to put something out. Just let me put a mixtape out. So it was like, well, you could put a mixtape out. So that's when I put together them songs, the Remedy, which I took from, you know, some of the songs that was supposed to be Pain Medicine, and put that together. Because even if you look at the Remedy, you know which one I'm talking about, with that green one,
The
with
green
that
cover.
lady with the
Right.
needle. Like, the dude who drew that shit, if you look on the top left, top right or top left, it say Pain Medicine, because that was gonna be the
that was gonna be the cover.
Yeah. So yeah, we turned that into the Remedy. But anyway, okay, so we were talking about Pain Medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did the Remedy, I did On the Cut, I did all them little albums at around the same time. I even had a mixtape called Number One Supplier that I put out.
Right.
But so I was out. The deal with KOCH had, you know, it was over. It didn't really work out. They let me off the label, and that's when I started working on the new Pain Medicine. You know what I'm saying? And that's what so that's where it became the new Pain Medicine, the actual one that came out.
Y'all go get that, man. Definitely a body of
Yes,
work.
sir.
So what was the situation with Dead Game Records?
All right, so Dead Game, you know, Dead Game was from the neighborhood. So, you know, I had kind of knew him just from, you know, being around. I had new Travis and Tom and all of them. And you know, they always was solid, you know what I'm saying, with me. So once they started doing their label, they had an artist before Gates named J Real that was on Dead Game. And you know, me and him was really cool. And so when Gates kind of started making some noise a little bit, they had called me because Gates wanted to do a song with me. So I went over there, and that's when we did that song. I think it's called "Find My Way" or something. Find My Way. One of his early albums, or mixtape, whatever. I don't know the name of it, but it's a song called "Find My Way" or "Find the Way" or something like that. So that's the song we did. And so you know, I kind of had a relationship with them already. We was cool. And when Gates got locked up, they was kind of like at a standstill. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on shit to play out with his case. There was a lot of times where he was supposed to be getting out and then he didn't. And you know what I'm saying? They was going back and forth. So they had approached me to kind of like come to the label and kind of like do some shit so they could keep their label afloat. You know what I'm saying? Keep their game, you know, in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Gates, you know, when Gates was in jail, like he kind of started blowing up even more. Like that's when his music really started circulating a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know, I was like, man, it's all love. Like I said, I already fucked with Tom and Travis. They was good niggas to me. And so we worked out like a little partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I went to Dead Game, and you know, we did the leak, which was kind of like a combination of it was songs that they had from Gates that hadn't been released yet. And then I did some songs, and then like I kind of jumped on some of the songs that, you know, that Gates had to kind of, so it was kind of like a little compilation we put together. You know, me and Gates, some of my songs, some of Gates songs, and some of the songs together, and we put that out. And that's what had "Can I Help You" on.
Right.
And so "Can I Help You" was kind of like another Do Your Thug thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah. So it was like once that bitch came, it was over. It was curtains. You know what I'm
You can
saying?
always rely on you to come with a banger. I ain't lying. I don't know what the
That's a
formula
bit,
is,
man.
but you got the right formula.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, bro, I ain't no formula. It's just like, cause shit, a lot of shit I thought was gonna be bangers end up not being. Well, I ain't gonna say bangers, but you know, them anthem type shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like I don't know, bro. You
The
just
people
shoot. You
do
just
kind of
keep
decide.
shooting.
They do
Yeah,
kind of decide.
you just gotta shoot at the target, bro. And you know, every now and again you hit that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now I
Yeah.
do want to mention, I mentioned consistency. If
Mm.
consistency was a person, man, we mentioned all the projects prior to 2009. Now we go to Max Payne 2 in 2011, Heart of a King in
No,
2011.
I think no. Max Payne 2 was like early. Max Payne 2 was like, it might have been like 2007 or something,
Okay.
2008. Yeah.
These just
Me
a
and
lot of
Savage,
projects. Like I was like, damn, I was like blown away that you had that many projects. Like,
see, like, but all of them is okay, like the ones that I'm gonna tell you which ones is like my real album.
okay,
You know, Me and My Hustle, Max Payne, I'm All I Got, That Boy, Get Served, all of them is real albums. I call the Remedy a real album too. The Remedy, and then Pain Medicine, right? Heart of a King. Then after that, what I had after that? Testify, maybe.
Testify. I did my research. I don't know if they got the right dates, but I got Pre-Med. I got Number One Supplier.
Okay,
2011.
Pre-Med was like a mixtape I put out before Pain Medicine.
Okay.
So that's a mixtape. Number One Supply, that's a mixtape.
Dope Boy Chad.
Huh?
Dope Boy Chad, was that a?
Okay, all right. So Dope Boy Chad. Okay, them was in that was 2014, right?
Yep.
Dope Boy Chad.
Yep.
That's a real album.
Then Dope Boy Chad 1.2 and 15.
1.2 is, I consider that a real album. God's Gift.
God's Gift.
That's a real, it's more like an EP, but that's an album. And like you see, I got Power Wall on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that's another
I need to check that out.
Another thing me and Power Wall did. Then
Got Served.
Testify.
Testify. Before Got Served.
Testify, I think that's like one of my best albums to me, too. You know what I'm saying?
I need to roll and peep that whole thing back, you know, front to back. I need to roll with it. I ain't really check it out.
That bitch up there with like pain medicine and me and my hustle and all that. To
Body
me.
of work.
Then the Max tape. That's the Max tape. Yeah.
That was 2000. That was after Testify.
That was after Testify. The Max tape. Then
what was Got Served? Mixtape or
Got Served?
Yeah.
The Underwater disc.
Yeah.
That came out after Get Served.
Okay, right after it. Okay, I don't know why I said 2019.
See that? Now I'm gonna tell you about that. Remember I was telling you
remember I was saying that we had the original Find Me a Freak, then the remix, the one that blew up.
Okay.
Got Served was a mixtape I put out like a couple months after Get Served, the album came out.
Okay.
They had the remix on it.
You got so much music, man. It's
yeah, bro.
Catalog out the ass.
Yeah, the remix to Find Me a Freak was on that Got Served. So that came out 2005. So after the Max tape, I think it was Say Goodbye, if I ain't mistaken. Say Goodbye should be the next album. So and then I put out now that was my retirement album, Say Goodbye. But then when the pandemic hit and we was on lockdown, I did a whole nother album and put out. It's called Cold Day in Hell.
Oh, I ain't heard that. That's on where you can get that at? That's on all platforms.
Man, it's off platforms right now, but I was switching distribution for it, so it's gonna be back out this week. Okay. So yeah, by the end of this week, it'll be back out on our platform. I'm also doing the 20th anniversary for me and my hustle, like the remastered version, and I got 2 songs that ain't where one of them never been released. The other one was kind of like released, just leaked out. But both of them like songs with me and Boosie together from back then, from 2001. Yeah.
What was it like working with Boosie, man, in the Yo?
Man, like when we first started with Boosie, he was just he was like a kid, and he was just raw talent. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just raw talent, bro. He rapped his ass off. But like when me and Lo kind of showed him how to format songs and you know what I'm saying, how to record in the Yo and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But he was just raw talent, bro. And he was like, you knew whatever Boosie got on, he was gonna rip that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was like a real, you know, that was kind of like our resurgence. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, between like the Camp 2 and like, you know, 98, 99 shit we kind of fell apart, you know, everybody kind of went their own way, you know, and that's when me and Von and Happy dropped the Simple and Plain, the Lato album. You know, Bleed, he went off and did his own thing. And you know, Lo, so when me and Lo got back together and we was talking about doing some new shit, a new Camp album, he was like, man, we do a new Camp, you know, I think, you know, we you know, it'll be successful or whatever.
Right.
So we did that, but that's when Boosie came into the picture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we formed a new Camp when me, him, and Boosie. You know, and Happy was still giving us beats. Von was in and out. He was like, you know, in and out. He was on a couple songs and yeah, man, we put that album together, bro. And when that bitch came out, that bitch took off, bro.
Man, y'all got some bangers. I ain't lying.
Yeah, that bitch took off, bro.
So what was it like hooking back up with Young Bleed for Better Than the Last Time video?
The video, man, it was dope. My partner, Matt from South Coast Coalition.
Matt Keith.
Yeah, Matt Keith, yep. Shout out to Matt, that's my dog. He put me and Bleed on a song for a compilation that he put out last year, I think, called Third World 3. And so it was like, you know, he knew like me and Bleed hadn't been on the same song in about 20 years, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he put us on the same song, and that song came out. He wanted to shoot a video for it, so me and Bleed shot the video for that song first. Now, when me and Bleed was just, you know, together shooting that video, we was just talking this shit. cause you know that's the first time I had really saw bleeding in a long time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so we just were talking and talking, and he was like, "Man, you know it'll be raw if we shoot a fucking video for better than the last time." And I was like, "Ooh, that shit would be raw." You know what I'm
Classic.
saying? Yeah. And so we just did it, bro. We put it together, and you know I wanted it to look like it was in 1997. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well put together
So
again, like I said.
yeah. So you know we just went, we did everything. We got the old school cars and dressed like, you know, with Dickies and,
And the
you know,
flannels.
bandanas and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he had car high belts and car high visor, and, you know, just old school Baton Rouge shit. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
That's how
But
they
it
go.
came out, and you know, I was glad to see that a lot of people, you know, took it like how we envisioned it, like, you know, because you know, some people say, "Man, why you shooting a video for a song that's that old?" You know what I'm saying? But it's
Right.
like, man, this bitch a classic, bro, and it's like some shit deserved to have a raw visual to it, and that song definitely, you know,
Right.
deserved to have a raw visual. So we did it,
Classics
bro.
never die,
Yep,
man.
yep.
So we mentioned the Say Goodbye album. What made you decide to retire from music, man?
Man, because it just, I feel like, you know, I've been doing this shit so long and kind of lost some of the love for it. You know what I'm saying? Just you just get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm,
was burnt out, and you know, a lot of shit in my life that was going on, you know, my personal life, you know, I just got to a point where I was like, man, you know what, I ain't, you know, fuck this shit. I want to do something else. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
So I did my little retirement, put together my last album. I wanted to get Bleed, Jvon, and Loc on it, but it didn't really come together. You know what I'm saying? So I just ended up doing it like how I did it, bro. And I think that's one of my best albums too. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my personal favorites.
Definitely a classic body of work, like I said.
Right. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, man. So yeah, bro. And I fell back from the music shit. I still, did features with people and shows, and I did some writing for people,
Okay.
so I still was kind of like, bro, music gonna always be a part of me, and I'm always be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I can't never just, but it was just the active, being an artist like grind that I fell back from. You know what I'm saying? And I, started doing some other shit that I don't really want to speak about. It's my personal business, my personal life.
Definitely.
But yeah, bro. So, we did the documentary, Diamonds in the Dirt.
Okay.
So I just got into, a couple other things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that's like a segue for my next question. Like, but I'm gonna ask you this before that. You ever
okay.
thought about running like a label with all your industry experience, like all the music business experience you got, like getting a label,
Man,
signing young artists, and who you
yeah,
feeling that's the new school artist right now?
man. I have, bro. I done talked about that with a few people, like not really running a label, but more like kind of like on the managing side. You know what I'm
Management.
saying? Like finding artists and manage them. And yeah, bro, I'm definitely thinking about that, but I want to be able to devote the right amount of time and energy to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so until I feel like I'm in a place where I could go 1,000 with the shit, I don't want to play with it. You know what I'm saying? But I got a couple of artists that I've been looking at that I really like, that I possibly end up working with in the future. And like, so to your other question, you say as far as like the new BR artists.
New BR, local, nationwide. Who you really feeling that's out right now?
Oh man. Like in BR, I like Lil and the Champ.
Shout out to Lil One.
I,
Definitely a
I,
lyricist.
yeah, he definitely a lyricist. I like to see him, do a little more, You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Keep dropping shit.
Y'all collabed a lot too, huh?
Yeah, we did a few things and shit.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to Lil. He definitely an artist that, you know, I could see really blowing. You know, his music is dope. You know what I'm saying? His music be thorough and put together, you know, in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like True Lewis. I like
Okay.
Dude I did a song with recently that's about to drop, Beezy Bird, Headband Beezy.
Oh yeah, I fuck with
like
Beast the
him.
Bird. We got a song together. I rap too, man, but you know, I'm just
Oh,
trying
okay.
to put my hand in all kind of shit. Got my clothing line,
Right.
podcast rap, but you know, just about you right now. But shout out to
As you
Beast the Bird.
should.
I fuck
As you
with him.
should. Yeah, shout out to Beezy Bird, bro. And it's a, you know, it's a few different dudes, but I can't really think right now.
Right.
Nationwide, I mean, you know, it's more so I hear like songs that I like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't really say, man, I like this dude. I like all this shit. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So
What,
you know,
what about the auto tune? You use auto tune, or would you?
yeah, I have like, but I don't use it in a way of like where it's like where you could hear it. You know what I'm saying? Some people use it to where that's like they style. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I mean I like it. I feel like if you know, it's some dudes that do that shit and they real fucking dope with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hell
But
yeah.
I just what I don't like is just everybody doing this shit, and it's like because you trying to sound like this dude or these dudes, and they just not doing the shit in the right way. You get what I'm saying?
Man,
Like,
my personal opinion, they need more lyricists. They need more Max Minellis. They need more Lil the Champs. That's just my opinion. I ain't knocking nobody because I really feel Moneybagg Yo, I really like his shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He
I
really do
like
his shit.
I like Moneybagg.
And locally, like TEC and Main Music, man, you know, I know
Yeah,
Main, I think he locked up, but Free Main,
yeah,
but man, them dudes go hard with that
yeah,
shit. So
yeah.
definitely.
Like anybody from Baton Rouge, bro. I like. You know what I'm saying? I want to see
Right.
him win. I fuck with everybody, bro. So you know, any young nigga that's doing their thing, bro, and you know, I just be hoping a lot of them niggas to stay out of trouble, cause they, you know, it's like niggas be so in their street shit
That's what
to
I'm
where
saying.
yeah, you know, they kind of lose focus of what they doing. Like Young Boy, bro, like, you know, I love Young Boy, bro, but
Right.
you know, I hate to see him in the position he in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you know what I'm saying, over dumb shit. It's like, man, you at the top of the game, like he one of the top 2-3 artists in the world right now, and
Right.
it's like he's sitting in a cell. You know, that ain't where he belong. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish a lot of these youngsters would stay out the bullshit and stay more in the, you know, the shit they supposed to be doing, because they got the game in their hands, bro. They just got to know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And like I say, man, I see how you move, bro. You never really see your name in nothing, no bullshit. You never heard Max
Yeah.
Minelli name in no bullshit. Nothing.
Man, I mean, it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier, the way I was raised and the way I came up. It was just all about carrying yourself with respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You respect people and they respect you, but you respect people as they respect themselves too. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, some motherfuckers don't respect themselves, so you can't respect them. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And you realize that from how they move and the things they do. Me myself, I always been able to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got love for me. I got love for everybody. It's like, you know, I'm not one of these niggas that just been out here on this wild cowboy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Right.
trying to prove that I'm this, that, or the other, and trying to carry myself like this. That ain't what I'm on. Like I'm just on carry yourself with respect. And you know what I'm saying? Like if a motherfucker cross you or play with you, you know, that's a different story. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you know, it's just like I say, bro, if you carry yourself in such of a way where people feel like, you know, man, you know, he carries himself with respect. Most of the time they respect you unless you just a straight hater. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, you know, thank God I always been able to move around and I ain't really never had them problems like that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So what's next for Max Minelli? Writing scripts for movies or something? I can see you writing like a movie or something, man.
Hey, on the cool, I'm working on something like that. You know, it's really somebody else's project, so I don't really want to speak on it too much right now. But yeah, it's definitely some movie shit in the works.
Okay.
We finally about to drop the Diamonds in the Dirt documentary, which is a documentary about the complete history of Baton Rouge rap. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a preview.
Yeah,
look dope.
So, we go back to 1985 with this shit, bro. Like they had niggas from Baton Rouge rapping in 1985. So we cover all that. You know, we got everybody on that bitch. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be 2 parts. So the first part gonna be coming out soon. We had ran into like a little roadblock as far as like distribution and shit with it. But it been finished, you know what I'm saying? It been finished for over a year.
Right.
Then COVID kind of, you know, slowed a lot of shit down too. So, but yeah, so that and man, I'm back fucking with the music, bro. Like it's a habit.
Don't retire, bro. It ain't time yet. It ain't time yet. Give us some more.
It's like now though, you know, since I fell back and kind of set myself up in a different way, now I don't have to depend on music. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I'm back doing this shit because I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for fun. Like I just do whatever the fuck I want to do. So, you know,
man,
like
you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. That's what they say.
Right. Me and X5 working on a project, like where he gonna produce the whole shit. I got a single that I'm about to drop real soon, like in the next couple weeks, produced by Lakeith.
Shout out to Lakeith. I fuck with Lakeith.
I got some shit from Be Real that I've been working on. Me and Level doing a project together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of different things I'm working on, bro. But yeah.
Yeah, I gotta definitely get Level on the show too, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to reach out to everybody who doing their thing, man.
Yeah, that's my little bro, man. So me and him, we working on a project together too.
Right. Well, I always wrap up my shows with any advice for the kids, man. It ain't gotta be musically, it could just be about life. You know what I'm saying? Because really the 17, 18-year-old, 19, I say kids, but they teenagers, but they wilding, bro. Every day I turn on the news, they wilding. 2-3 murder. I moved out the city, but I always check WBRZ app. And that motherfucker be, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I say, bro, they on that wild cowboy shit, bro. But I mean, just any advice I give to anybody is just kind of like the same shit I was just talking about. Like, look in the dictionary or look on your phone and Google the word respect and see what it means. You know what I'm saying? And go forward carrying yourself with respect and respect people. You know, you respect people as a human being first. You respect them as a man or a woman next. You know what I'm saying? You respect them as a child of God. You know, and you know, if everybody carry themselves with respect and respect other people, respect their space, respect their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got an opinion, bro. Like, you know, don't take shit personal. You know, everything ain't worth just, you know, jumping out the deep end about, you know what I'm saying? And communicate. You know, communication, you know, or lack of communication is at the root of pretty much every problem. You know, every problem, you know, you might think it's this big ass huge problem, but in reality, it was just a misunderstanding. And if you was able to talk to this person and they was able to explain their side and you explain their side, 9 times out of 10, y'all can find some common ground. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, bro, I pray for these youngsters, bro. I think they got the wrong idea, a misconception about, you know, what's going on out here and what people really want from them or what they think they supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And it
Right.
ain't about all that, bro. Like, you know, you gotta be here. You know, you gotta be here for your kids. You gotta be here for your family. You gotta be here, you know, to do what God put you here for. You know, God ain't put you here to be, you know, shooting at niggas and ducking shots from niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Keep It 1000 podcast, man. I'm your host, KOCH. Glad to have you on the show, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. Max Minelli, the legend.
100.
And y'all stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah.
Keep it 1000, keep it 1000, keep it a stack, keep it a stack. We kill 1000, kill 1000. It's deeper than rap, it's deeper than rap. It's the Keep It 1000 podcast. It do not stop. It's the Keep It 1000 podcast.